It's okay to feel like quitting, but here's why you shouldn't. Last year, I stared at my running shoes at 5 a.m. and thought, yeah, I'm done. Training for that marathon was crushing me. My knees hurt. I was always tired. And wow, was I slow. You know that feeling, right? When you're just ready to throw in the towel on something important to you? Look, I got so curious about that feeling that I spent the last year really digging into it. Talked to over 200 people who pushed through when quitting seemed easier. And guess what? There's actually a pattern to quitting that nobody talks about. Here's the crazy part. What separates people who achieve their dreams from those who don't isn't some special talent or luck. It's just how they handle one specific feeling that all of us get. In this video, I'll show you the exact mind shift that changed everything for me. Plus, I'll share the simple three-step approach that's helped thousands of my students push through their toughest moments. This isn't just theory, by the way. I've tested these strategies with over 5,000 people in my coaching program. The results? Pretty incredible. Stick around to the end because I'm also sharing a super simple daily exercise you can start using today that completely changes how you see those I want to quit moments. Hey, do me a favor. Pause this video for just 3 seconds. Close your eyes and remember the last time you felt like quitting something important. Feel that heaviness in your body. Now open your eyes. Here's the truth. It's completely normal to feel like quitting. But there's something most people don't know about that feeling. Something I discovered after talking with over 200 successful people from all kinds of backgrounds. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what happens in that moment when you feel like giving up, and the simple shift that changes everything. The comfort zone myth. Let's get something straight right now. Life isn't about staying comfortable. We're told to find our comfort zone like it's some magical place where good things happen. But here's what I've learned. Nothing worth having lives inside your comfort zone. Think about Michael. Sunday nights, he would lie in bed, stomach knotted like a fist. He'd stare at the ceiling fan, counting rotations instead of sheep, dreading the fluorescent lights and recycled air of his cubicle. He worked the same accounting job for 8 years, safe, secure, comfortable, but miserable. He dreamed of starting his own business, but was terrified of leaving that security. One day, his company announced layoffs. Instead of panicking, he felt that knot in his stomach finally loosen. He saw it as a sign. Started his financial consulting business with his severance package. First 6 months? Terrifying. Barely made enough to cover bills. 2 years later? He's earning double his old salary and actually looks forward to Mondays. As David Goggins, former Navy SEAL who transformed from an overweight exterminator to an ultra-athlete, puts it, the most dangerous person on the planet is the one who can suffer longer than everyone else. Your comfort zone feels safe, but it's actually dangerous, because while you're comfortable, you're not growing. Comfort Zone Challenge. Identify one thing you do regularly just because it's comfortable. This week, do it differently. Even if it feels awkward, notice what you learn about yourself in that discomfort. Ask yourself this: what dream are you putting off because it feels too uncomfortable to pursue? What if that discomfort is actually the doorway to everything you want? When quitting feels right. Let's talk about that feeling. Your heart races. Your mind fills with doubts. You start thinking of all the reasons to just stop trying. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Other people are better at this than me. This is taking too long. That feeling? It's universal. Even the most successful people experience it. Sarah started training for a marathon after turning 40. Never ran more than a mile in her life. 3 weeks in, her muscles ached constantly. Each step felt like tiny shards of glass in her shins. She was slower than everyone in her running group. One rainy morning, sitting in her car at the park, windshield wipers beating like her doubting heart, she nearly drove back home. What am I doing? I'm too old for this. But she stepped out into the rain anyway, cold drops hitting her face like tiny wake-up calls. Just decided to run for 10 minutes. Ended up doing her full training. 6 months later, crossed the finish line of her first marathon, tears mixing with sweat. The day I almost quit was the most important day of my journey, she says now. Maybe for you, it's week 3 of your fitness journey when soreness hasn't subsided but results aren't visible yet. Or maybe it's month 6 of building your side hustle when you're working double shifts but haven't seen a profit. Or perhaps it's that project sitting half finished in your garage because the initial excitement has worn off. When quitting feels strongest, when you don't see immediate results, the middle plateau, after a significant failure or setback, when others seem to be progressing faster, when you're physically or mentally exhausted, the moment you feel like quitting is actually the moment right before breakthrough. It's your growth testing your commitment. Here's what nobody tells you. That feeling doesn't mean stop. It means you're exactly where you need to be. When was the last time you pushed through when everything in you wanted to quit? Pause this video right now. Take 5 seconds and think of one area in your life where you might be on the edge of breakthrough, but you've been considering giving up. Got it? Good. Let's keep going. The real source of strength. We all want to believe we're strong, but real strength isn't about muscles or mental toughness alone. Real strength comes from pushing past what you thought was your limit. Angela Duckworth, who literally wrote the book on grit, discovered in her research, enthusiasm is common, endurance is rare. Her studies found that persistence predicts success better than IQ, talent, or any other factor. Every time you do something difficult, something that scares you or challenges you, you discover a new level of strength you didn't know you had. James was terrified of public speaking, literally shook at the thought of it. His mouth would go desert dry. His hands would tremble like autumn leaves. But his job suddenly required him to present monthly to the executive team. His first presentation? Disaster. Sweaty palms soaked his notes. His voice cracked like he was going through puberty again. Key points vanished from his mind mid-sentence. The walk back to his seat felt like crossing a desert. He wanted to request a different role. Instead, he joined a local Toastmasters group, practiced in front of his mirror until he knew every expression his face could make, recorded himself on his phone, wincing at the playback, still felt terrified before every presentation, but he did it anyway. A year later, he was asked to speak at an industry conference. Still nervous? Yes. But he knew he could handle it because he'd pushed through the fear so many times before. Finding your true strength. Choose one thing that intimidates you, a skill, activity, or situation. Break it down into the smallest possible first step. Commit to just that first step this week. Celebrate pushing past your comfort regardless of the outcome. Your true strength isn't measured when things are easy. It's forged in those moments when you want to stop, but choose to continue. What challenge are you currently avoiding that might reveal your true strength? Wait, what if you've tried this before and still failed? That's where most people get it wrong. Failure isn't evidence you should quit. It's just data, information, feedback that your approach needs adjustment. The question isn't whether you'll fail, you will. The question is, will you learn from it and try again? Effort beats talent. Let me tell you something that might be hard to hear. Nobody cares how talented you are. Harsh? Maybe. But it's true. The world doesn't reward talent, it rewards results. And results come from effort, not natural ability. Two college classmates, Ryan and Alex, both wanted to become software developers. Ryan was naturally gifted at coding. Everything came easily to him, could solve in minutes what took others hours. Alex struggled with the basics, staring at error messages like they were written in hieroglyphics, while Ryan relied on talent, breezing through assignments at the last minute. Alex put in extra hours daily, fingers cramping from practice, eyes burning from late nights of study. After graduation, Ryan got a better first job because of his natural abilities. 5 years later, Alex had far surpassed him, becoming a senior developer while Ryan remained in the same position. The difference? Alex never stopped putting in the effort to improve, while Ryan coasted on talent. This next part is crucial, so I need your full attention. The person who succeeds isn't the most talented. It's the one who shows up consistently, learns from mistakes instead of being discouraged by them, puts in the hours when no one's watching, keeps going when others quit. Talent versus effort test. Identify one area where you've been relying on natural ability. Create a specific improvement plan with daily actions. Track your progress for 30 days. Notice how intentional effort creates improvement. Let me ask you, where have you been waiting for talent to carry you instead of putting in the real work? What might change if you doubled your effort in that area for just 30 days? The price of success. Success isn't free. There's always a price. Want to get in shape? You'll sacrifice comfort. Want financial freedom? You'll sacrifice spending now. Want meaningful relationships? You'll sacrifice time and ego. The question isn't whether you want success, it's whether you're willing to pay for it. Dana wanted to become a nurse but already had a full-time job and 2 kids. The nursing program would take 3 years of evening classes. I'll have no life, she thought. I'll miss my kids' activities. She was right. For 3 years, she missed movie nights. Birthday parties turned into quick celebrations between study sessions. Weekends became clinical rotations. She studied on the sidelines of soccer games, flashcards in one hand, thermos in the other. Some days she cried in her car from exhaustion, mascara tracking down her cheeks. But she kept going. When she graduated, her kids made her a card. "Mom, you showed us that hard work makes dreams come true." The sacrifice was real, but so was the reward. Here's the truth that shocked me when interviewing successful people. They didn't find some magical way around the sacrifice. They just decided their dream was worth the price. Identifying your price. Write down your biggest goal right now. List what you'll need to sacrifice to achieve it. Be specific. Decide if you're genuinely willing to pay that price. If yes, make a commitment by telling someone else. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If you haven't achieved something, it's often because you haven't been willing to pay the full price. What price have you been unwilling to pay for what you say you want? Protecting what matters? In life, not everything deserves your effort. But the things that truly matter, those need to be protected fiercely. Your dreams, your health, your key relationships, your values, these deserve your protection. Protection means you don't let just anything interfere. You set boundaries, you make tough choices. You say no to good things so you can say yes to great things. Marcus wanted to write a book for years, had ideas, made plans, but never made progress. Why? He protected his free time, his comfort, his routine, but not his dream. Finally, he realized he needed to treat his writing time as sacred. Started waking at 5 a.m. to write for an hour before work. The alarm would sound in the darkness, and he'd feel the weight of his warm blankets trying to keep him there. his pillow practically whispering, "Stay." But he'd swing his feet to the cold floor anyway, told friends he wasn't available on Wednesday nights, set boundaries with phone notifications. 6 months later, he had a completed manuscript. "I didn't find time to write," he says. "I protected time to write." Protection Protocol. List the 3 to 5 things that matter most to you. Identify what threatens each one. Create one specific boundary to protect each priority. Practice saying, "That's important, but not as important as this." What dream or goal have you failed to protect? What would change if you guarded it as carefully as you guard your comfort? The power of pride. Not the arrogant kind of pride. I'm talking about the deep satisfaction that comes from knowing you gave your absolute best. That feeling when you look in the mirror and know you didn't take shortcuts. This kind of pride is powerful. It fuels you when motivation fades. It carries you through doubts and setbacks. Elijah lost his job during the pandemic, applied to 87 positions over 6 months, received rejection after rejection. Some days, he couldn't even get out of bed. On day 87, after another rejection email, Elijah found himself sitting on his bathroom floor at 2 a.m., back against the cold tile, wondering if he'd ever work again. His savings dwindling, he could feel the shame creeping in like a shadow under the door. But the next morning, he dragged himself to the mirror, eyes still puffy, and whispered, "I did everything I could yesterday. Today, I'll do it again." That tiny moment of self-respect, when it would have been easier to give up, is what he now calls his turning point. On application number 88, he got hired, for a better position than he'd had before. "Pride in my effort, not in my success, got me through," he says. Building healthy pride. At the end of each day, ask, "Did I give my best today?" Celebrate your effort, not just your outcomes. Keep a pride journal of moments when you push through difficulty. Share your journey with someone who supports you. What effort are you most proud of in your life? What did it teach you about yourself? How can you bring that same commitment to what you're facing now? Be your own hero. Stop waiting for someone to rescue you, inspire you, or give you permission. You have the power to be the hero of your own story. Heroes aren't perfect. They're scared, uncertain, and flawed. But they act anyway. They take responsibility. They move forward despite fear. Tina had an idea for a nonprofit that would help teenage girls learn tech skills. For 2 years, she talked about it but did nothing. "I need connections," she said. "I need funding. I need someone to help me." One day, sitting in a coffee shop, watching people walk by, she had a realization that hit her like a physical force. No one was coming to save this dream. No knight in shining armor would appear with a check and a team. If it was going to happen, she needed to start. With zero funding, she began teaching 5 girls in her living room using her personal laptop. The first session, her voice trembled. She doubted every word. But the girls' eyes lit up when they created their first web page. Today, her program serves over 200 girls annually and has corporate sponsorship. "I kept waiting for a hero," she says, "until I realized I needed to be one." As author Joseph Campbell famously studied in The Hero's Journey, every hero faces the same crucial moment, the call to action. Many refuse it at first, but what separates heroes from everyone else is eventually accepting that call, despite their fear. Hero Action Plan. Identify one dream you've been waiting for, someone to help with. Take one immediate action, today, that depends only on you. Make a decision right now that your future doesn't depend on anyone else. Ask yourself daily, what would the hero version of me do today? What story are you telling yourself about why you can't move forward? What if that story is the only thing truly holding you back? How would a hero handle your current situation? The power of consistency. Everyone wants the highlight reel, the breakthrough, the moment of triumph. But here's what I learned from every successful person I interviewed. Success isn't about intensity, it's about consistency. Doing something small every single day beats doing something massive once in a while. Consistency compounds. It builds momentum. It creates results that look like luck to others. Lisa wanted to become a photographer, bought an expensive camera, took an intensive weekend course, then barely touched the camera for months. The leather case still smelled new because it rarely left her closet. Meanwhile, her friend Miguel used just his phone camera, but took and edited at least one photo every single day for a year. Through rain, through busy work days, through his child's illness, one photo every day. His early shots were amateur, awkward framing, and poor lighting. But day by day, like water shaping stone, his eye improved, posted them online, studied techniques in small daily chunks. By year's end, Miguel was booking paid gigs while Lisa's camera gathered dust. I was waiting to feel inspired, Lisa admits. Miguel just showed up daily, inspired or not. The compound effect, as Darren Hardy writes about, is the principle of reaping huge rewards from a series of small, consistent actions. This is perhaps the most powerful force in the universe, but most people miss it because they're looking for the big breakthrough. Consistency framework. Choose one important goal-related action to do daily. Make it small enough that you can do it even on your worst day. Track your streak, calendar, app, journal. Set a non-negotiable minimum, even if it's just 5 minutes. The question isn't whether you can do something amazing today. It's whether you can do something small today, tomorrow, and the next day. What tiny action, if done consistently, would transform your life a year from now? Your next step. If you've stayed with me this far, you're different from most people. You're serious about your growth. So let's make sure this isn't just another video you watch and forget. Right now, not after this video, not tomorrow, but right now, I want you to take out your phone, set a timer for 120 seconds, and write down the one thing you've been most tempted to quit on recently. Then write, I commit to one specific action tomorrow, no matter how I feel. Take a photo of this commitment, set it as your phone wallpaper, then drop a simple check mark in the comments so our community knows you're all in. 1 week from now, come back and tell us what happened. I'm creating a 30-day number no-quit challenge starting next Monday. Join our private community group, link in description, where we'll check in daily, share our struggles, and celebrate our persistence. The top 3 most consistent members will be featured in a future video. Remember, it's completely normal to feel like quitting. What's rare is the decision to keep going anyway. This isn't just content. This is a turning point if you choose to make it one. That decision starts now. What will you choose?